Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rock Room. This week we'll look at some buckets of material. I'm sitting around. I did some cleaning recently. I dug out some buckets I haven't looked at in quite a long time. So we'll take a look at some of the stuff that's in there. Some pretty interesting. I kind of previewed a little bit. Some pretty interesting stuff. So let's take a look at that. Okay, for starters, here we got this beauty here. It's a Brazilian agate. No, I didn't pay $1 Brazilian for it, but you can see the banding in this is just intense. And you know, when I think when I originally got this, I was thinking like, geez, it's like white and blue, and which kind of goes away from Brazilians, which are usually like a brown color. But it had this, you know, cool looking fortification banding on there anyhow. So I thought, well, you know, I'll get this home and I'll cut it up. And then I cut it, and that should have been a giveaway right there. And of course it's brown. Here, let me get this spray here a little bit. And it's still got some really, wipe this down a little bit. It's got some really cool banding in it. Let's see if I can zoom in on this at all. So it's got a lot of fortification banding in it. And again, it's got the full, for you know, for this size, the full shape to it. So either way, this is a pretty nice agate. And there's just one of your old average thunder eggs. You know, with these, you just never know what the inside's going to come, depending from the area that they come from. You know, I cut this one, and you know, it's pretty plain. Crystal center. If you look, it's got some good banding, some real good banding on it. You can even see right here that parallax where she goes on, and then just a big crystal center. So, but again, pretty average. Of course, another Brazilian, because you can always tell by this brownish color. You know, cut that open, and you know, some of them are kind of interesting. Again, this had a crystal, didn't have the crystal center, but the crystal was off to the side. That's why I thought this was kind of interesting. It's got some good fortification banding, but you know, just kind of odd how that crystal pocket formed on the side, and then all the banding was off to the other side. So yeah, kind of an interesting guy. And this is the other half of that. It was pretty thin. That's why I cut it that way, but kind of weird. Now this is a piece of, actually, you know, it's green, but this is called Red Lightning agate. This is from Mexico. I had just cut a little scalp off this one just to get a look inside. And like I say, these red lightnings, when you get these green ones like that, they never disappoint. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. There's just so much going on in this stone. That is just beautiful stuff. But again, a lot of times when you get this, it just comes red. So you don't get this green in there. So when you get a piece with a lot of green, it's always a joy to see all that green in there. And of course, here's another, let me zoom back out. Here's another Brazilian. You can always tell by that brownish color. Very translucent, but you know, I cut this, and geez, there's a little banding in there, but not too much going on. And I think this was some Moroccan jasper, and it's more of a jasp agate than just jasper. But zoom in on that. But you can see it's more like a moss agate. You know, there's an agate there, but you know, tell me that's not just like a moss agate. It's got this little banding, like an agate banding on the top, but this is real soft. But look at that, like that mossy look. Nice. And there's a Moroccan agate. With these Moroccans, you get a lot of them. They're just a clear, you know, it's got banding and whatever, and it's some of them have absolute phenomenal color. Other ones are just big, plain old freaking agate. So not saying it's plain old agate, because this is pretty impressive in itself, but I just mean as far as color goes, it doesn't have a lot of color. But you can see that big fracture going through there. It's not in there now, but it was at one time. But other than that, yeah, what a beauty. And this one, back this back out. You know, a lot of these times, you know, you don't know how to cut them or what to cut them or how to get them in the saw. Where I had to cut that, you know, enough of it to get this width in the saw. Bummer, but still kind of neat. There's a Brazilian, again with the brown skin on there. It's got some pretty good fortification banding and actually some nice color around the edge, but just on the edge. Lots of fractures in there. You know, you can hear this is a Teepee Canyon, and again, pretty hard to tell until you cut them open. And then, wowza, look at that. And this has got some pretty intense banding. Of course, it's hard to see with this bright red. But, wow, nice looking piece. That was just the scalp off the top. Oh, back out here. Okay, now this is a piece of seam agate. This is a Haunted Ridge. And again, it's not an exceptional one, but eh. Okay, another Brazilian. Very translucent. Just a little ring around there. Okay, here's another Brazilian. You know, it's got a big chalcedony pocket in the middle. It's kind of alright. It's actually got, you know, banding, and then it's got the chalcedony, and then it's got banding, and then it's got one in the center, kind of like a floater in there. And so that makes it kind of neat. And here's a bigger Malawi. No, it's not too heavy banded. It's more of a mossier one, but you know. And here's a piece of seam agate. So kind of neat, kind of interesting. Again, you know, what could you make with this? Yeah, I don't know. More like just a display piece. Alright, here's a carny. It's kind of a carnelian. You see how red, translucent that is. And you can see, you know, if you see through it, see the fortification banding? You know, you can see the banding all around this, but yet you cut it open and it's that. So again, very surreal. Boy, if that doesn't look like some future world or something. But yeah, crazy looking piece. Okay, now here, this little agate. Now, this was in a box with some, originally with some crazy lace, but when I cut it, I'm like, you know, I don't think this is crazy lace. I mean, it might be, but it was pretty neat. Pretty interesting looking piece. All right, well, keep it short. I shouldn't say short, but short enough for this week. I hope you enjoyed some of that stuff. Like I say, I've got, you know, maybe 25-gallon pails underneath some of these shelves. I should say haven't looked at in a long time. So that was just, you know, the smallest little fret. Well, you've seen how many stones it was, and just maybe an eighth of the bucket. So there's so much more to go through. So hope you enjoyed looking at that stuff. I know I always do. So we'll see you again soon. Another video. Thanks everybody for watching, for subscribing. I really appreciate knowing that what we're doing is liked similarly by everybody else. So thanks a lot. See you next week. Bye.